welcome to the Bradford City v Newport County match reaction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. 2-0 win, good result, and a very good performance as well. We're in control, sometimes we're a bit slow on the ball, but I think that came with it being 30 degrees outside, and you know, the heat might have got to them a bit and made them a bit tired. In terms of the water breaks, let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. I know a few don't like water breaks, but personally I do quite like them. I think they have the plus sides and the negatives. Obviously the negatives are 6 minutes of added time in the first half and 5 minutes added time in the second half, and it did have something to do with that, I reckon, and a few injuries that here and there of theirs. But yeah, I'm for them, but these are negatives like I just said. But I think the positives are, you know, the good thing about them is players aren't as tired. I think we were still tired, but I think if you put yourselves in a player's shoes and you're running around for 25 minutes at high intensity in the heat, it is going to be quite, you know, you are going to need a drink, because I think if you're walking round, say, Hillcliffe for an hour, you're going to need a drink, and that's just walking. So, you know, if you put yourselves in the shoes of a high intensity athlete, you are going to need that a bit of a break and a bit of a drink. I think obviously their injuries we took advantage of it and had a couple more sneaky water breaks. But yeah, I think I'm for them. But if you are against them, let me know why in the comments down below. But on to the match, 2 brilliant goals. I mean, the Smallwood goal was, it just were a thunderbolt into the top corner. I've only seen it once and it looked like the keeper potentially could have done better, but it was still probably one of the goals of the season, and it's only in August. He scored a few bangers in his career, and that's probably the best of them from what I've seen. A few with deflections that were just to clean it and tipped into a top corner. But what a goal! And it got the fans. It just lifted the fans, because we're already, you know, pumped up for the game, and then that just lifted the roof, and the kettle then was boiling. Chapman scored in the second half, and you know, he was like Elton John, if you know, you know. It was a tiny dancer, but yeah, it was a good finish. But they just couldn't stop him. He was just on a little run, sniggled round one of them, and then slotted it in. But it wasn't the best of finishes. I think it took a deflection, and then they nearly cleared it off the line. But you know, Chapman were brilliant today. He won the game, and he would deserved a man of match. So let's go on to the player ratings. Let me know yours in the comments down below. 1 to 10, there won't be any 1s and there won't be any 10s, I can tell you that. The majority will be 7s, but Ariel is 7. Very good performance from him, distribution brilliant, a few passes that were just fantastic, but he seems to only want to play out to wide. They must be best friends or something, because I think he played about 10 balls out to him. But yeah, he had a very solid game. He didn't have much to do with his hands, but with his feet, and definitely coming out of his net very quickly. He did that well and commanded his area, which is something we haven't had for a few years, and he is very good. I'd say he's a bit controversial, but I think he's championship standard. You know, he played really well against Hull, and he hasn't had a bad game yet, touch wood, in this division. But yeah, I can't see him having many, because he seems very confident in commanding his box, and I really like him. But if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Your 1 to 10. Out to wide, I've been critical of him so far this season, but I think that's mainly because I know that we can do better. We won't get a better left back in this transfer window, because obviously we will not be signing anyone else, which is probably a good thing considering we've signed 15 players, I think. But yeah, he's solid. He's a good mid-table League 2 left back, or a good higher end League 2 left back if you're quite defensive, and he's just going to sit level with the centre backs, because Halliday does get back and forth really well, whereas Rideout, it takes him a bit to get back into position. But one problem I do have with the defence today, I know I'm not right to criticise Mark Hughes, and he knows a lot more than me, and he knows more than any of us Bradford City fans. But one thing I don't like is that we are a bit vulnerable and can be exposed with, is the width of our defenders. We do seem very wide when others are attacking, and balls just get slipped in behind either the left back and centre back or the two centre backs, and only because we've got pace there we can actually recover. But one day there will be a striker who is faster than our centre backs, and it'll cost us. We do need to be tucked in a bit more, and we can't be creating that width because balls are getting slid in here, very very easily, and we will get done at some point this season. But thank God it won't today. But yeah, I can see that happening because we do look vulnerable in that area at times. The other centre backs, Quick, Slow and Platt, I think against a better attacking the higher divisions, maybe might come up against one in League 2 or maybe in League 1. They are going to probably be seen as an exposure. But they are very solid in League 2 and I like them both, but they can be a bit dodgy. But I'm going to give them a 7 because they didn't have a bad game today. But these little moments where you think, yeah, they might not be ready to come up against a very good attack. But they dealt with Hull's attack very well. But today I'm giving them a 7 because no one really deserves to get under a 7, even the subs, because they still give quite a lot of effort. Brad Halliday, not Andy Halliday, I keep calling him Andy. Brad Halliday, 7 again, very solid, going up and down, few decent crosses and defensively quite good. You know, the problem was Newport didn't trouble us at all this game, and it made it very easy for us. And that red card when we were 1-0 up, if it were 0-0, it would have been a completely different game. Just on the referee, he had a good game, which something I can't really say for most. We could have had a bit of a penalty shout with Sutton going down in the box, but I think he had a good game. The red card was a red card, it was last man, and yeah, I can't say anything negative about him. Maybe Newport fans can, but I can't. Gilead, very good game, 7, bordering on an 8, because what he actually did was something very underrated. He was pressing a lot, and I bet he covered most distance, in that team today. It was all over the place, in a good way. Pressing them, wouldn't let them breathe, quite literally. Well, not literally at all. Didn't strangle them. It were getting very physical with them. And he wanted them like a rash. So he had a very good game, but technically he was good as well. Going forward, he looked quite decent, and I do like him as a centre mid. I think that's his best position, and he seems to have matured into that role, and I think he'll make it his own this season. Smallwood, 8. He's fantastic. That shot and the goal was the goal of the season, like I said. But not only that, he controls the game well. The only one mistake he made, and he recovered. He was a bit slow, and then we all shouted man on, and he recovered from it. And that's how quick he is with reactions. He's brilliant. Passing, tackling, shooting, he's just got the lot. And he's definitely a championship midfielder. He won the game against Hull. I mean, why did they get rid of him? But yeah, we've got a buy there. He's fantastic. We've got a coup, sorry. Chapman, 8, but he's my man of match, just over Smallwood. He was brilliant today. I've been quite critical of him so far this season. But I won't say I've been critical, I'd just say I expect better, and he has got better, and it'll take him a few games to reach that. And he did have a pre-season, but he was brilliant today. It didn't look like it could stop him once he got dribbling. Fantastic performance, pacey, creative, and he got a deserved goal as well. And Scott Banks, I'm giving him a 7 because he looks good. He just seems like he needs a bit of confidence to put a cross in or to hit it, because he's definitely got the quality. You know, he drives forward well, and he does well one-on-one with defenders, but sometimes he just tees it off instead of having a go himself or putting a ball in, which, you know, I think he just needs a bit more confidence there. There's still development to do with Banks. I think his contract's running out at the end of the season, so it could be someone we'll look at next season as well if he does well, and if we do well he might just come back. So yeah, he had a good game as well. Leon Goal, I'm giving him a 7. I think he had a better game, probably his best game so far this season. I think so far he's looked quite poor, but he did a few good dribbles against his fullback, and you know, he could have had a goal as well. He had half a chance where it just went wide, but I think he's more of a striker, but he's a decent winger, and he had a good game today. Andy Cook, 7, you know, he could have got a goal. I think he had half a chance as well. but he runs his socks off, and he's got 3-3 now. It was 3-2, and you know he runs his socks off on the pitch, but off the pitch, he's done a really good job, and you know I think he's a real good role model in the camp as well, because when you see where he was at the end of last season to how he is at the start of this season, it shows you can do it, and he's a good role model not only to the players but to the fans. You know, if you put the effort in, you get your rewards no matter what you're doing. Oliver, who replaced him, I'll give him a 6. He didn't do all really. He just needs a bit of time. It could just cause one goal off his backside and he could get going. But so far Cook's better than him, but there might be a point where Cook isn't doing well and Oliver steps in and he does well, and I think that will be important because Cook won't have a good period all the way through the season. He might get injured, and that's when we need Oliver to step in. But yeah, it was decent today. Young 6, Sutton 6, East 6. Neither of them really did much. But yeah, let me know your player ratings in the comments down below. Good performance, good result, control the game. But the one thing I would say is we do look to be controlling games too well, and we don't really know when to flick the switch and just, you know, build the play up a bit faster and go into midfield and just have a bit of more zip. And I think that'll come within the season, but sometimes we are a bit slow passing it out, and then we hoof it up top, and you know it would be better to see slow build up and then creating a good chance instead of just hoofing it up top. But I think sometimes we do have to flick the switch and just go for it a bit more. But yeah, I can't criticise that game. Very good game. One of the best games we'll have this season. We also had one of the best games last season in August under Derek Adams. I think that was Stevenage, wasn't it? At 4-1. So yeah, probably one of the best games this season. First win in the league, back-to-back wins. Hopefully we'll carry it on next week away at Hartlepool. I think there's only an allocation of 600. We couldn't go, but hopefully you're going, and let me know your score predictions in the preview next week. Have a good one.